Good morning, families. Good morning, students. So yesterday or last night during Meet the Teacher, I realized due to my technical issues that I was having with my computer that the meeting did not get recorded. So I'm going to walk you through our Meet the Teacher slides now so that you're able to get the information. Typical school moment. So that you're able to get the information that you need in order to feel more comfortable going into this school year. So thank you to those parents and families who were able to join the meeting so that I could see your student and see you so that I can begin to get to know my families that I am serving this year. Also, when this presentation is shared with you, you may want to put it into presentation mode because there will be some important information within the presentation that you may need to click on. Okay, and just like I did last night, we're going to go over the Ranger Pledge. Now, this school year for you as a virtual learner during the first 9 weeks, we will do the pledge and you will do the Ranger Pledge. And so you guys remember this. You did it last year during announcements, and we would say, Rangers achieve, always believe, never give in, we reach from within, every day lead, Rangers succeed. And that is the Ranger Pledge. We will do that during announcements this year as well. Here is a slide welcoming you to my class. And then if you click here when this presentation is shared with you, you'll be able to go to a slideshow so that you can learn a little bit about me and get to know me. Okay, you can also check out my webpage on Glenn York's website, and there's the link for that as well. I know that this year is going to look different. It's going to start different, right? Normally for Meet the Teacher, you would come in, maybe bring your school supplies, pick your seat where you want to sit on the first day of school. We would hug each other. You would get to know me. I would get to know you. And you would get to see what first grade looks like, what your classroom looks like, what first grade hallway looks like. And it would be a really exciting time. Well, this year it is a little bit different. Instead of seeing your classroom in person, you get to see it over the computer. So we are going to make this year wonderful. We are going to have a wonderful school year. And even though you don't get to be in the classroom here in person, Mrs. Walker is here, and I will be walking around the classroom teaching you every single day, and you'll get to see different parts of our classroom, okay? So here are some pictures. This is our math area here. We have our math word wall and our calendar. Probably looks a little bit similar to what you did in kinder. And then here we have our reading area. We have our library, some books, and we have our easel, and we have a books we read chart and a carpet. And so this is the area where Mrs. Walker will be reading you stories, where we'll be doing anchor charts together when we learn something new about reading. And so this would be the area where you would come to if we were in school and I was reading you a story. I like to call this area the gathering place because this is where we gather together. It kind of reminds me of when you're at home and you gather together at your dining room table so that you can eat a meal together and share how your day went. That is what we do here. We gather together as a family. Right? All of the students and your teacher, we gather together as a family and we grow together as learners. We read and we learn together. So I like to call it the gathering place. We have our computer area over here, which is where you would go for stations. And I always love to post up maps so that you know where you are in the world. And this is a map of the United States and one of the world, right? Because I love social studies. And this here is our ABC charts and our word wall for our ELA, okay? We're going to keep going. Here, once this presentation is shared with you, you'll be able to have a walkthrough of how to access our Google Classroom and what it looks like. You'll see the different tabs that I've pointed out and how to maneuver through the site. Now, some of the tabs that I have on mine, you won't have. That's just because this is the teacher's perspective. And so this is what I can see. Like, for example, grades. You won't have access to that because you don't have to grade work as a student. You only submit work through classwork. We also have a link so that you can meet the specials teachers. Now, for those of you who were here last year, you remember all of the specials teachers, I'm sure, because they are very fun. But if you want to see a really cool video that they put together, just click that link and you'll be able to see them in their environments. Here are some important times for school. School starts at 7:45 a.m. So what that means is that you need to be up, brush your teeth, wash your face, maybe brush your hair a little bit. Make sure you are dressed in school clothes, not jammies, and be logged into your computer by 7:45. It may be best if you try to log in just a little bit sooner, because sometimes we have technical issues and then you don't want to be late. So make sure you're up and you're ready. Maybe get some breakfast before you come to school too. Because even though you're at home and you're doing school on the computer, you're still going to school. So we especially need to make sure that we are dressed in our school clothes. No jammies for us, even though we're at home, and I'm sure you have some really cool jammies. You can't wear them unless you get a jammy day. School lasts until 3:25, and then guess what? You're done for the day. So you can go outside, or you can go do things with your family, whatever your mom and your dad or your families decide. You are tardy at 7:50. So if you are not logged into Google Classroom and ready to go by 7:50, you're tardy. And then your lunchtime is 10:45 to 11:15. So at this time, you won't be on the Google Classroom doing assignments. You'll get to log off. You can go have lunch inside, outside, wherever you want to have lunch at with your families or with whoever may be watching you. And then your specials time is 11:15 to noon, which means that you have that time to do an activity from the specials teachers, do your recess or some sort of activity from art, PE, or music. Your school supplies that you need for the first day they're very simple. All you need is your device, a pencil, and paper, and that's it. Okay, and then for the rest of the 3-week period or 9-week period, we'll start with the 3-week period that everyone's virtual. You will only need a device and the supplies given at supply pickup. So because you're a virtual student, you will pick up supplies today, Thursday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or tomorrow, which is Friday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you'll come through the cafeteria side and pull up where you are dropped off at in the morning, and you'll get your school supplies that the first grade teachers have put together for you. Those supplies also include workbooks, a whiteboard, and different paper resources that we thought might be helpful for you to have. Sorry, let me go back. Routines and procedures and an overview of Google Classroom is what we will focus on for the first week of school. We're not going to dive into too much content first. We're going to give you guys some time to kind of work out the glitches of working with technology and trying to maneuver through the different websites that we may use, and even just learning how to log in to Google Classroom by yourself so that you don't have to have someone from your family helping you every day get logged in and get set up. We want to make sure that you guys can be independent and that you can do it all by yourself. Parent communication. So I will be sending out a peak of the week every week. And what's on the peak of the week is what your child will be learning for each content area. So math, science, social studies, reading, writing, phonics, all of those things. I will tell you what your child will be learning for the week. That's what will be on the peak of the week. You'll be able to find the peak of the week on my webpage, on Glenn York's website, and you'll also see it on Bloom's. Phone calls and emails, you can leave me a phone message on my classroom phone, but I prefer that you email me if you have any questions or need anything, because my emails are easier for me to see, and easier for me to get to than the classroom phone. For example, if you call me and leave me a message on Friday afternoon about something, but I don't see it, then I may not get it until Monday. Whereas if you email me on Friday afternoon, I can see it Friday evening and I can respond to you. Blooms, we will be using Blooms to share important information and messages as well as pictures or anything else. And here is the class code right here that you can type into Blooms to join a class, and you will be part of our classroom. You can also message me on Blooms as well. So you can email me or message me on Blooms, and I'll get notifications from both methods. We will also have weekly e-news, which comes from Mrs. Hicks and from Glen York Elementary, and that will tell you about the campus events. So Blooms and the Peak of the Week, those tell you about what's happening in the classroom, but the weekly e-news tells you what's happening in the school. So make sure that you are signed up for that. If you're not receiving information from the school, you might want to check your email on Skyward just to make sure that they have the correct email for you and phone number so that they can send you that information. If you don't, once you have this presentation and put in present mode, you can actually click on these links and it will take you to the place that you need to go to in order to sign up for those. Again, parent-teacher conferences or my conference time is from 11:15 to noon. So if you need to schedule a virtual parent-teacher conference through a Google Meet, you can email me at swalker@alvinisd.net and we can set up a time for me to meet with you about your child. Here are our Google expectations. I will be sharing this with your child during the first and second and third week of school, just so they know that what we expect when we come to school every day. So if they were in the classroom, we would talk about classroom rules and classroom safety and things that we agree on that would help make our classroom a better place to learn for everyone. And so our Google Meets expectations are to be on time. Make sure you wake up early and log on a few minutes before class starts. Be in a quiet place away from your toys or your animals so that you're not getting distracted by anything. Be prepared. Make sure your computer is charged and your camera is on. And if you need headphones, that you have them on. Sometimes I have to charge my computer overnight because I use it throughout the day. So if you need to do that to make sure it's charged, you can do that. Make sure that your presentation is appropriate. So make sure that you have on school appropriate clothing and you sit up straight and you're in view of the camera. Your camera does have to be on. Mute yourself when your teacher and another student is talking. Okay, or if I'm teaching, you can mute yourself, and you will actually have these cards in your supply pickup where you'll be able to ask questions and respond to things that I may be teaching. I will also be showing your child how to ask a question if I'm teaching and they don't understand something, how to stop me and ask a question without everyone yelling over each other that they need me to repeat something. Participation, be focused and be attentive and be an active participant. I want to hear your voices. We're learning just like we were in school, and so if we were in school and you were sitting at the carpet, you would raise your hand to ask a question or to answer a question. I want you guys to do the same thing even though we're learning on the computer. We're going to chat responsibly. We'll go over that a little bit more during the first week of school about typing in that chat box in Google Meets. And then make sure that when you do speak that you look at the camera and you speak clearly, right? And be respectful because this is like a family. We want to be kind and considerate and respectful of one another. Okay, so parents, when you see this in the presentation, here are the links that you can click to get the form for behavior expectations. Also, our consequences.